Hello, welcome back. It's Antoinette here, and I am bringing you the Total Tarot subscription magazines 10 and 11 have just arrived through my letterbox. So let's take a look. This, I think, is my 6th delivery, either 5th or 6th. I don't know how it works because parts 1, 2, and 3 arrived together. Although part 1 and its free gift was the deck. Parts 2 was a cloth, so I'm not sure quite how it works, but I think this might be what you call 6. So with your 6th subscription to the magazine, so if you start collecting today and you want to back order magazines 1 to 11, they would all come as a postal with the decks and the cases and the first gift probably. And then when you have subscribed for 5 more payments, that's when you'd get to this level of gift, just to kind of help out, because I know some people are confused. They've only just joined and they're not sure why they aren't getting the free gifts that others of us are getting that have been signed up since the start. So that's just a little by the by. So this comes in a really nice box, and this is actually the candles, 3 lovely candles. So if I take the lid off, and you can smell them as soon as you open the box. So starting with candle number 1, which is the Empress. I don't know if it's going to focus for you or not. But the Empress is nurturing fertility, cleanse, regenerate, provide warmth and energy. It comes with the crystal citrine and the scent jasmine. This candle is palm wax and refined paraffin wax. And it does have the safety warning on the back for burning candles sensibly. It's quite a nice size candle, really. I don't know what you call that. 1.5 inches deep or something, and yeah, you can smell the very floral jasmine in there. And we've got what looks like 5 citrines inside, and a nice wick to get this one going. So there's our first one. The second one is the Lovers, for choice and love, so restoring trust and harmony in relationships, promoting feelings of peace and serenity. Crystal, rose quartz, scent rose. Same on the back by the looks of it. And there we go. So we've got quite a few little rose quartz chips. That smells amazing. I very much like that smell. I prefer that to the Empress. And we have the High Priestess for knowledge and wisdom, instilling mental healing, engenders prosperity and provides a feeling of calm. Crystal being aventurine, and the scent is lavender. Oh yeah, there we go. So we have our green aventurine. They're quite sizable compared to the others. I always find that with aventurine, actually. It's usually the one where they're more generous with the size of the chips. But yes, we have those in there. Very lavender-esque, so very calming. Probably one you'd want to use when before you go to bed, or if you're meditating, or just want some quiet and calm. Now, I do want to just, as a side note, say, burn sensibly. So these have got stones in, and not all stones take kindly to being overheated or burnt near a flame for prolonged periods of time, and people have reported that they can crack or fracture or explode. So burn with caution and care, and when you can, just pop your stones out. Don't leave them in there. I personally would never burn this all the way down and leave those stones in there right to the end. So as soon as they were loose enough in the wax, I would probably take them out. And I don't know that I'd burn this candle right down all in one go either. So this is probably something, while you're doing your journaling in your little journal book. So it's maybe a 20-minute burn or something like that I would use these for. Okay, there we go. That's my candles. And just there we go on the back. So from Total Tarot, and it also has Lo Scarabeo noted on here. So in association with Lo Scarabeo and Byline Publications. So that's a very nice. I'm very, very happy with that. That's gorgeous. I have popped the box up because this is my 3rd attempt at recording this. So the box has been pre-popped, and the deck is out of its cellophane and the 2 halves that it came with, because it's a subscription that comes with 2 magazines and you get the whole deck then that way. And that is the backs of the deck, which are just gorgeous. And it is the Pre-Raphalite tarot, and I will do the walkthrough of the tarot deck at the end for those of you who want to see the cards. Skip along if you don't want to see what's in our magazine. Let's just do that one up. Okay. Right, magazine numbers 10 and 11. Starting with 10, let's take a look inside the book. That's how my card got bent. See, it's bent on the corner. That's the same bend that's in my card. Anyway, reading personalities. So personality readings. A reader can use the tarot to explore and better understand their own personality and those of their querents. So we have something here about character study. The Illuminati High Priestess may represent someone with psychic ability and visions. So that is an image from the Illuminati Tarot, and it now tells us, it's giving it away. It comes in about 5 months' time with parts 20 and 21. Can't wait. Do like that deck. Here we have some information about, what are we looking at? So it looks like we've got the wheel, personality mapping, hero archetype. So the Prince of Cups in the Illuminati Tarot may suggest a savior figure. So that's this person here, not these. Personality readings are a great tool for discovering more about the person you want to understand better. They could be your partner, your family member, your friends, or your colleagues. We all have those occasionally, don't we? And we have some other information here about unfamiliar figures, elemental essentials. This looks like it goes a bit more into depth. So the big 5, one of the most commonly used personality models in psychology, defines 5 character traits known as the big 5. So there we have the 5 common traits down there. And, I just love that image. The card of the month, or the card of this subscription magazine, is the Hermit, as we can see. So we've got the symbols down there, a bit about the Hermit. I'll go into more depth on the back here with the thematics, personal love life, divination, psyche and soul, what the card says if it was speaking to you, and a combination of different hermits here that we can look at. So we have the Lo Scarabeo, Neferatu, Thelema, Manga, Harmonious, Fae, Shaman, and Universal Fantasy Tarots. Coming up in your collection, the Universal Fantasy Tarots. That one's coming at some point for those who like the Universal Fantasy. The Harmonious, if you've got all of them so far, you'll already have, and you'll also already have the Thelema. You should already have your Marseille. And our spread for this month is the Angelic Wisdom spread. So it looks like an 8-card spread. And we have on here, so it looks like we're talking about the layout. The cross in the middle represents the heart of the problem. So that would be this one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there we go. So it tells us about positions 1 to 4. 4 cards in the middle forming a cross from which 4 angel wings are extended. So that's your corner angel wings. Okay. And then we have cards 5 to 8 here and what their meanings are in the spread. We have a bit about before moving on to your synthesis of the spread and your overall meaning and message, helping hands, heaven and earth, and then we have more about this in the next magazine, so we'll get to that when we get there. Here we have our tarot deck library for the Pre-Raphalite tarot and the keywords here for the major arcanas. Art and magic. Without giving out too much away, I'm just trying to have a quick scan read here with everyone. So rich in symbolism drawn from mythical, historical, sacred themes, this art deck is inspired by the works of the Pre-Raphalite painters, hence its name, of course. And then we have our minor arcana keywords and some more. Did you know, let's take a look at this. Did you know the death card was inspired by John Everett Millais' painting of Ophelia? The model was 19-year-old Elizabeth, or Lizzie Siddle, who posed in a bathtub full of water for hours and fell ill with bronchitis. Oh, that's quite sad. No, I did not know that. So there's some great information in there then, I guess, when I sit down to read about the tarot deck that I have in hand. And let's pick a card. 4 of Wands. Let's see what it says. Open your arms to others, forget your worries, safety, joy, stability, and cooperation. So the four, most of us will know, is stability. The Four of Wands in general, in the RWS study deck, will be the Four Wands and that kind of celebratory backdrop with the swags of, or the boughs of flowers and the castle in the background and that whole sort of party and life's great sort of feeling. Visual reference to our Pre-Raphalite tarot. So that is all of our major arcana. I've got some practice makes perfect hints here. Starting with the deck. With this issue, you received half of the deck, including all the cards of the major arcana as shown here. Yep. And then we've got more in the next magazine. Okay. How many pages? That's 20 pages this time, or well, 19 pages this time. And there's our backs. So we've got 11, and moving into 12 is the vice versa. Oh. I already have that deck. I'm not a great fan of it, but we'll see what the magazine says and whether it changes my mind, shall we? Anyway, that's quite nice. So moving into magazine 11. So we have the other half of the deck, as we've already said, it's in my box. We have intuitive reading. Is this part 2? Intuitive reading 2. And what do we have here just as a hint? Some language of symbols. So improving your ability to read intuitively by exploring symbolism. For example, you might want to research the 19th century French concept of the language of flowers to expand upon what flowers might mean in the imagery of your tarot decks. I know that like with roses and things, there's that meaning, isn't there? So yellow, gifting to friends. And then you have, you know, your classic red for Valentine's. So that could be quite a cool thing to look into. And linking into that, actually, one of my good friends and teachers called Julie Rader has just released a book on ebooks and hardback via Amazon. Cannot remember the name, but I'll try and remember to link it in down below for those who are interested. And it's the Hallowed Tarot, learning the Hallowed Tarot. Let's not quote me here, but I'll just pop the link down below for anyone that is interested. And I know, why did I say all that? Because the deck she's creating, I think she was looking at and into the symbolism of flowers. That's where that came from. Oh, I need to slow my brain down. It's been a hard day. Here we have a little bit more. So we have the Golden Art Nouveau, clearly the deck images here. What have we got? So we've got something about the queerance, intuition and prompts for you when you're reading. How to approach a reading. What emotions are you feeling at looking at the card? Identifying the images, scenes and interpretations. Telling a story with your images in front of you. Wheel of Fortune in this one, of course, it would be. And we have the same things. We have our symbols, symbology, keywords, thematics. The card if it was to talk to you. Comparisons of other decks up here. Exploration for further reading. Read up upon Providence, Kismet, Divine Will, Karma, Fate, Fortuna, and Bhavakara, if I pronounced that word correctly. Alternative names. The Wheel of Fate, the Wheel of Fortune. Have I come across any others? Do you know, I think I probably have. I think I've seen it just called Fate or Fortune, not always the Wheel. Destiny might be another one. And then we have the different decks. So Lo Scarabeo, Neferatu, Thelema, Shaman, Universal Fantasy, Fae, Tower of the Pagan Cats, and Dark Angels Tarot. Tarot spreads. The Angelic Wisdom spread. So this is our spread opened up, and then they've given you an example reading here. So if you've turned all the cards around, you can see what's there. They're telling you what they are. And then they're just going through, talking about the cards, the essential meanings, the keywords, the symptoms relating to the reading. Oh, sorry, not the symptoms. The placement of the cards and what they mean to the reading. But you get what I mean. And then we have a bit more information on it, creating your synthesis or your sum up of your reading. And we have earthly and heavenly levels. I don't know what that means, so that'll be something for me to read into. Tarot deck, rituals, part 2. So what have we got in this one? Enhancing your tarot practice with candles. Okay, so bring in your candles. Collect the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot with parts 2 and 3, and that's the bag that you get a couple issues on to go with that set. Tarot tip. You can perform a ritual after a reading. Release your queerest energy with a prayer, for example, or ground yourself by connecting with the earth or channeling through each of your chakras. So there's, yes, that's just building on what you're learning, how to ground yourself, how to get energies, how to not tire yourself out. World of Tarot, the printing dynasties. Here we have the... So we have a Marseille, so there's lots of different types of Marseille decks. I don't know, let's just see, can I spot who this one is here? So the name Marseille refers to where the iconograph template for the cards was made, not the place they were printed. There are many Marseille decks with small variations in design, symbolism and colours. The iconograph model of the Marseille Tarot endured through the centuries despite changes throughout Europe. The cards that were most often altered in the Marseille decks were those with political, religious significance. So Juno was replaced by the High Priestess. In the Tarot of Jean Gerger in the early 19th century Besançon Tarot. And we have the Tarot of Adam de Hortut around 1740 in Rouen, where the High Priestess is replaced by Captain Fracas, which is this one here. And then we have the Devil Tarot by Jean-Baptiste Galler in the 18th century Brussels, which was an example of a variation of the Marseille model. The iconography is inspired by the Bolognese Tarot, suggesting that tarot, even in the 18th century, was open to outside influences. And this one very much reminds me of some of the devil cards that Patrick Valencia uses in his Trionfi della Luna decks based on Marseille. He also has some old decks that he sells at deviantmoon.com as well, or revival decks, which would have had some of these printings in them as well. So we've got some interesting stuff about craftsmanship of the cards, important differences, and end of an era really. But I also am aware that with the Marseille, there is types 1 and types 2, and then that comes with its whole history and raft of collections of different types of Marseille decks, just like you get with the RWS, clones and variations, and some come with, you know, sharp corners, some are rounded corners. The handmade one is very important on how they're made and the quality of the cardstock. So there's a whole thing about this that I probably never have enough knowledge to talk about properly, but it's always worth, if you are keen on what your cardstock is, go and have a look into it by all means. I know Masha at Masha's Musings with Masha, she had a card maker on recently who hand makes her cards. Justin, who does his Titans of Tarot, he often has Marseille creators on his channel to talk about cards as well, and cardstock and the making process. So always worth looking into. We have our practice mates, so just encouraging you practice your decks. Here we have a visual reference for the rest of the deck. And parts 12 and 13, completing the vice versa deck. It'll be interesting to see how it varies from the one that I have in the big box. So I have the kit, the vice versa kit. So it'll be interesting to see how this one compares or stands up to that. So there we have our magazines. Let's take a look at how they go into the binder. Thank you to the person that told me last week I put them in back to front. I put 9/8, not 8/9 in, which had me a little bit worried for a short period of time. I thought I had done the whole video with back to front with my magazines back to front. Let me just get my hooks. Trying to be clever, put them up there. So what do we do? Open it up. I kind of slot it into place. These hooks, then there's a little hole up there that they go into, and then they just hook into your magazine. And then that is as simple as that, and it holds them in place. You just do top and bottom. So that's one. I will at some point get round to maybe doing a time, I will maybe pick one of the spreads and try working with a deck that comes with the magazine with one of the spreads, and we can kind of work through it together, have some fun, see what we get, and see if everyone's views are the same, see how our opinions differ, and then that gives us all the opportunity to learn from one another by using this actual setup and enjoy using it, really. Now back to the Pre-Raphalite Tarot. Just as a side note, this deck, I am reliably informed, is very similar to this deck in the way that it looks, the colourway, the whole kind of making of the deck. So this is the Jack-o'-lantern from Lo Scarabeo. Max is trying to dig his way through his... Let's just take a look at the card sizes. So card size wise, my Pre-Raphalite is slightly bigger. Slightly bigger in size. Height and a little bit wider. See, you can definitely see the colours are similar here, can't you? So our Pre-Raphalite, as I said, the backs are beautiful. And then what we can do is zoom down and take a look. Starting with our Fool. Our Wheel. Justice card, right, so I had a Justice from the other one, just let's take a little look. Ah, so this has got borders. I think I prefer it without the borders. I might actually take a little trimming to this deck, take the borders off. But yeah, you can see the backgrounds, like the colouring of the imagery, it's definitely similar. We have the Hanged One. Ah, there's our Death card. That's a very different devil. Interesting. I do like the Tower. So our Sun, one baby in this one. Judgment and the World. So Ace of Cups, Two of Cups. Let's just see with the other one. Some similarities, aren't there? 3. That's an interesting 9 of Cups. With our 10. The Cups creating the rainbow above. Page of Cups. So again, just going to bring in the other deck, just to have a look. And it is, do you see the similarity there with the clouds? Clouds and backgrounds, scenic. Oh, that's a nice 8 of Wands. Sorry about the dogs, they're waiting for their master to come home. I'm not good enough company for them, mostly because I'm ignoring them while I'm doing this. Yeah, I'm very excited. Oh, look at that for a 3 of Swords. I like that. I do like that. It's nice to see something different. 5, 6, 7, 9. Here's our 10. Page, Knight, Queen, King. And our total tarot card to go with. So let's pop those in there. So cardstock wise, that was a point to me holding out a card. The jack-o'-lantern feels slightly different. Not a lot in it, but it feels slightly different. Feels slightly thicker. Finished, they feel the same. They have actually, is it about the same amount of sheen on them? I don't know if I can get it to do the same. Yeah, I'd say they have about the same amount of sheen. They have the same quality of feel to them. And the size is slightly different. But other than that, a nice deck, a very nice deck. This one I'm much more interested in working with than some of the ones we've had so far, because the imagery in this, actually, this is more my style of imagery. So I'm quite looking forward to delving in and playing with this one. Okay, what did you think? What's your favourites? Are you still a subscriber to this, or have you stopped? And if so, what are your reasons? I'd love to hear. Join the conversation below. Please keep it respectful, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.